Saudi Aramco is the world's largest oil company and maintains arguably the most comprehensive coating specification system for protection of its assets. Each of the APCS specify what testing protocol or material specification is required for qualification of individual products for each type of coating and various environments or exposures. Collectively, these material specifications are known as Saudi Aramco Material System Specification. Saudi Aramco Engineering Standards SAES list approved protective coating system APCS for different application. SAES-H-001 coating selection and application requirement for industrial, plant and equipment. Today we are going to check each paint system in Aramco system with respect to AkzoNobel paint. The first paint system APCS 1A. The type of coating, epoxy coating system for atmospheric services with inorganic zinc primer. Typically used severe atmospheric exposure, particularly for offshore construction, not generally specified for maintenance painting. Maximum service temperature 150 degrees Celsius. The AkzoNobel will give Interzinc 22 as a primer for APCS 1A. The paint stock number, the WFT 100 to 150 micron to get a DFT of 65 to 100. Volume solid is 63% for Interzinc 22. Pot life for this paint 4 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 4 hours. Fluid pressure in PSI recommended greater than or equal to 1592. Tip size 15 to 21. Blast profile in micrometer 40 to 65 is recommended. Blast finish SA2.5. Abrasive stock number. Top coat paint Interguard 4 ton. Paint stock number. The WFT 190 per coat to get a DFT of 150 micron. Volume solid 60% for Interguard 4 ton. Pot life 4 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2500 psi. Tip size recommended 18 to 23 thou. Total DFT 275 to 400 micron. Next paint system APCS 1B. Epoxy coating system for atmospheric services with epoxy primer. Typically used severe atmospheric exposure including exposure to many acids and alkali. Primer can be used with APCS 12. Maximum service temperature 150 degrees Celsius. The paint product for APCS 1B as primer Interguard 291. Paint product number WFT 95 micron to get a DFT of 50 to 100 micron. Volume solid percentage 53. Pot life 6 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval for Interguard 291 20 degree at 16 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2200. Tip size in thou 15 to 21. Blast profile in micrometer 40 to 65. Blast finish SA2.5. Abrasive stock numbers. Top coat Interguard 4 ton. Paint stock number WFT 190 per coat to get a DFT of 150 micrometer. Volume solid percentage 60% for Interguard 4 ton. Pot life for this paint 4 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure recommended by paint manufacturer is greater than 2500 psi. Tip size recommended by the manufacturers 18 to 23 inch. Total DFT 275 to 400. Next paint system APCS 1C. Epoxy coating system for atmospheric services with zinc rich epoxy primer. Typically used maintenance painting for severe atmospheric exposure. Primer can be used with APCS 12. Maximum service temperature 150 degrees Celsius. For APCS 1C, International will give primer as Interzinc 52. Paint stock number WFT 90 micrometer to get a DFT of 40 to 75 micrometer. Volume solid for intersink 52, 59%. Pot life 5 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval for intersink 52, 20 degree at 5 hours. Fluid pressure recommended greater than or equal to 2503. Tip size 17 to 21 thou. Blast profile micrometer 25 to 40. Blast finish recommended SA2.5. Abrasive stock number. Top coat paint from AkzoNobel is Interguard 4 ton. Paint stock number. WFT 190 micrometer to get a DFT of 150 micrometer. Volume solid in percentage. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2200 psi. Tip size 13 to 18 thou. Total DFT for APCS 1D 190 to 315 micron. APCS 1E epoxy polyurethane coating system for atmospheric services with epoxy primer. Typical use: severe atmospheric exposure including exposure to many acids and alkaline. When added, gloss retention, color retention and abrasion resistance are required, usually outdoors. Maximum service temperature 80 degrees Celsius. For APCS 1E, primer paint from AkzoNobel Interguard 291. Paint stock number. DFT 50 to 100, WFT 95. Volume solid for Interguard 291 53%. Pot life 6 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 16 hours. Fluid pressure recommended greater than or equal to 2200. Tip size 15 to 21 thou. Blast profile 40 to 65 micrometer. Blast finish SA2.5. Abrasive stock number. Intermediate Interguard 4 ton. Paint stock number. WFT 190 per coat. DFT 2 into 150. Volume solid 60%. Pot life 4 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2500. Tip size 18 to 23 thou. Top coat Interthan 990. All details are same as ABCS 1D top coat. Total DFT 175 to 315 micrometer. Next paint system ABCS 1F. Epoxy polyurethane coating system for atmospheric services with zinc-rich epoxy primer. Maintains painting for severe atmospheric exposure when added gloss retention, color retention and abrasion resistance are required, usually outdoors. Maximum service temperature 80 degrees Celsius. For APCS 1F, primer is Intersync 52, paint stock number WFT 90 micrometer to get a DFT of 40 to 75 micrometer. Volume solid for Intersync 52 59%. Pot life for Intersync 52 5 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 5 hours. Fluid pressure recommended greater than or equal to 2503. Tip size 17 to 21. Blast profile 25 to 40 micrometer. Blast finish recommended as 2.5. Abrasive stock number. Intermediate for APCS 1F. Interguard 4 ton. Paint stock number. WFT 190 per coat. DFT 125 to 175. Volume solid 60%. Pot life 4 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2500 psi. Tip size 18 to 23 thou. Top coat. Top coat is same as top coat of APCS 1E. Next paint system APCS 2A 2C. Type of coating phenolic epoxy coating system for immersion services, self-priming. Immersion services particularly for raw or treated waters and for GOSP traps and abrasive stock number. Top coat paint Intertherm 891 paint stock number WFT 52 per coat to get a DFT of 40 micrometer. Volume solid for Intertherm 891 48%. Port life not applicable. Recoating interval 20 degree at 24 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 1600 psi. Tip size 13 to 16 thou. Total DFT 115 to 180 micrometer. APCS 6 Alkyd enamel coating system. Structural steel, machinery and equipment in marine and industrial environment including intermittent exposure to H2S fumes and high humidity. Not recommended for shop application or when handling is required after coating. Maximum service temperature 70 degrees Celsius. Paint material Primer Interprime 409 paint stock number WFT 94 to get a DFT of 50 to 75 micrometer. Volume solid for Interprime 409 53%. Port life not applicable. Recoating interval 20 degree at 16 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2500 psi. Tip size 15 to 19 thou. Blast profile 40 to 65. Blast finish SA 2.5 is recommended. Top coat paint for APCS 6 Interlac 665 paint stock number WFT 104 DFT 50. Volume solid 48. Port life not applicable. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2000 psi. Tip size 13 to 19 thou. Total DFT for APCS 6 125 to 200. Next paint system APCS 11A High temperature coating system for atmospheric services between 150 degree Celsius to 400 degree Celsius with inorganic zinc primer. Typical use steel in atmospheric services at elevated temperature. Service temperature 150 degree Celsius to 400 degree Celsius. Primer paint for APCS 11A Interzinc 22. Paint stock number WFT DFT volume solid. Port life recoating interval. Fluid pressure. Tip size. Blast profile. Blast finish. Abrasive stock number. Top coat paint for APCS 11A Intertherm 50. Paint stock number WFT 56 to get a DFT of 15 to 40 micrometer. Volume solid 45%. Port life is not applicable. Recoating interval 20 degree at 14 hours. Fluid pressure, atomizing pressure 40 to 65 psi. Nozzle size 1.5 to 2 mm. Total DFT for APCS 11A 40 to 105. Next paint system APCS 11B Very high temperature coating system for atmospheric services between 400 and 540 degrees Celsius. Typical use steel is atmospheric services at elevated temperature. Service temperature 400 to 540 degrees Celsius. For APCS 11B, primer top coat paint as Intertherm 50. WFT 56 micrometer. DFT 15 to 40 micrometer. Volume solid 45. Port life not applicable. Recoating interval 20 degree at 14 hours. Atomizing pressure 40 to 60 psi. Nozzle size 1.5 to 2 mm. Blast profile 25 micrometer. Blast finish SA3. Abrasive stock number. Total DFT recommended 30 to 80. APCS 11C. Type of coating. Extremely high temperature coating for bare insulated carbon and austenitic stainless steel. Uses. Protection from pitting for insulated carbon steel and to prevent stress corrosion cracking in insulated austenitic stainless steel 300 series. Maximum service temperature 1500 Fahrenheit. Purchase specification. Immersion resistant to boiling water. Resistant to hot salt spray. ISO 7253 or ASTM B117. No free soluble chlorine, sulfides, nitrates after curing. No zinc, lead, copper or low melting metal. Resistance to high temperature services. ASTM D2485 evaluating coatings for high temperature services. Resistance to thermal shock under cyclic condition. For ABCS 11C, primer and top coat paint is Intertherm 751 CSA. Paint stock number WFT 164 per coat. DFT 125 to 150. Volume solid 61%. Pot life not applicable. Recoating interval 20 degree at 20 hours. Fluid pressure greater than 2000 psi. Tip size 15 to 19 thou. Blast profile 50 micrometer. Blast finish SA3. Abrasive stock number. Total DFT 250 to 300. ABCS 12. Type of coating. Non-skid epoxy coating system for floors and desk. Typical use. Non-skid surface on interior and exterior floors and walkways. Maximum service temperature 150 degrees Celsius. Primer coat. Interguard 291. WFT DFT. Volume solid 53%. Pot life 6 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2200 psi. Tip size. Blast profile 40 to 65. Blast finish. Abrasive stock number. Top coat paint Interguard 4 ton. Total DFT for ABCS 12 275 to 400. Next paint system ABCS 17A. Inorganic zinc primer solvent based. Typical use. Under thermal insulation in cyclic cryogenic condition up to 77 degrees Celsius. Coating application limitations. Relative humidity must be exceeded 50% during coating application and curing. Maximum service temperature 400 degrees Celsius. ABCS 17A. Primer Interzinc 22. Paint stock number WFT DFT. Volume solid. Pot life. Recoating interval. Fluid pressure. Tip size. Blast profile. Blast finish. Abrasive stock numbers are discussed below. Total DFT for ABCS 17A 65 to 100 micrometer. ABCS 19C. Glass flake reinforced polyester epoxy coating system for offshore structural steel at splash zone. Typical use. Corrosion protection for all offshore and marine structural steel members at splash zones and atmospheric exposure. Suitable for jetting, piling and pipe at above and below ground transition area. Maximum service temperature 93 degrees Celsius. Not suitable for hot risers in splash zone. Suitable for new construction and rehabilitation for existing structural steel members. ABCS 19C. Primer material Interzone 1000. Paint stock number WFT 543 to 815 per coat. DFT 750. Volume solid 92%. Volume solid 92%. Pot life 1 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure 3000 psi. Tip size 36 to 43 thou. Blast profile 60 to 100. Blast finish SA3. Abrasive stock number. Total DFT 1500 micrometer. Next paint system ABCS 22A. Epoxy coating for application onto damp steel surfaces. 2-coat system. Typical use. Offshore steel structures in above water areas. Can be applied in condition of high humidity to a slightly damp substrate. Maximum service temperature 150 degrees Celsius. Not suitable for immersion services. ABCS 22A. Primer Interseal 414. Paint stock number WFT 91 per coat. DFT 200 micrometer. Volume solid 55. Pot life 5 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 12 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2200. Tip size 18 to 21. Blast profile 40 to 65. Blast finish recommended SA 2.5. Abrasive stock number. Top coat paint for APCS 22A Interzone 954. Paint stock number. WFT 353 micrometer to get a DFT of 200 micrometer. Volume solid 85%. Pot life 1 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. Recoating interval 20 degree at 18 hours. Fluid pressure greater than or equal to 2500 psi. Tip size 21 to 26. Total DFT 300 to 400. (300 to 400 micrometers).